Hey everybody, Chad Wesley Smith here, Juggernaut Training Systems, joined by the lovely, the talented IPF World Champion and all-time total world record holder, Marissa Inda. And we're going to be talking about point number 4 in our series of 5 squat pillars for great technique. And point number 4 is going to deal with the knee and the foot, particularly during the descent and in the hole and then the first few inches of the ascent in the squat. I think this is something that maybe distinguishes the way that we coach the squat a bit from others. There's been so much cueing, over the last decade probably, of sit back, weight on your heels. And while that's all well and fine for, I think, multiply squatting, where it's very important to sit back and load the suit, and maybe looser judging standards don't require quite the same levels of depth. If you are going to squat below parallel and you are going to be squatting raw and you want to squat the biggest weights possible, your quads are going to have to play a big role in that. And to do that, we need to put our joints in the most advantageous angles to be able to use the quads fully and effectively. Before she begins the descent in the squat, we're going to be looking for her to put her weight right at the front of her ankle. So at the midfoot, maybe if anything slightly forward as an overcorrection if you have an athlete who tends to sit back on the heel too much. So a cue that we like to give for this is to push the big toe down. But what we're really trying to achieve is relatively even weight distribution between big toe, little toe, and heel. Once Marissa's found this proper balance in her foot, she's going to initiate the squat by simultaneously unlocking the knees and the hips. And I know it's scary to try and move two joints at the same time, like patting your head and rubbing your stomach, or rubbing your stomach and patting your head.
Yeah.
Who even knows? But it's going to be a simultaneous unlocking of these two joints. So she's going to let her knee travel forward, and her hip is naturally going to unlock with that. Go ahead. As we get down into the hole, she's maintaining pressure forward in the foot, big toe, heel is down. It's obviously ankle movement is going to be critical here. The type of shoes you wear could be important if you don't have the ankle movement necessary to sit in the hole and keep your heel down in flats. Heeled shoes could be a great thing. Now, this forward knee position is critical. This forward knee position is what we want to maintain as Marissa comes out of the hole. So particularly those first few inches out of the hole is when it's going to be most important. Put the bar back. Is when it's going to be most important to maintain that forward knee position. So you can see as Marissa goes down, if she comes out of the hole and her knee shifts backwards as the first movement out of the hole, with that, the weight is going to shift, the load of the bar is going to shift from her quads back to her hamstrings and low back, but the hamstring is not at a good joint angle, and those lower angles from, let's say, slightly below parallel to the first 2, 3, maybe 4 inches, depending on limb length and height of the lifter, to above parallel. So what we want to do is for those first few inches, keep the knee in its most forward position and drive straight up. That's going to allow the quads to work at their fullest when the quads are best suited to do their work. If your knee is shifting backwards, maybe a heeled shoe could help in that. We have a video that goes very in depth to this topic about assessing leg strength versus back strength in the squat, and which will help you better understand if your knees are shifting back because you have a strong back that's trying to take over with relatively weak legs, or if it's a technical error. But what we want to do is keep that knee forward as long as you can out of the hole. It's going to naturally shift back further up, and that's totally fine. But maintain foot pressure, big toe, little toe, heel, and that forward knee position coming out of the hole. The next thing that's very important about the foot, and this will be critical if you have issues with your knees collapsing or an inward valgus movement of the knee, is as we maintain that even pressure, big toe, little toe, and heel, we're going to think about screwing our feet into the ground. So even with Marissa, who squats with a very, very narrow stance, we always want to see the knee tracking with the toes, if not slightly outside. So there, the inward movement of the knee. With that, the weight is rolling in the foot to the inside of the feet. A simple cue to help fix this is we first want to grab the ground. Big toe, little toe, heel. Grab the ground with those. So you're trying to spread your toes out in your shoes, create the biggest, most stable base possible. and then to screw the feet in the floor. So externally rotate the feet in the floor. And as Marissa does another squat, her knees are going to track right with her toes. Maybe over the second smallest toe to the pinky toe is going to be ideal, but again, everyone's hips are built differently. Make sure to check out the video with Dr. Quinn talking about hip structure and how it affects squat technique. But that cue of screwing the feet into the ground is going to help the athlete avoid rolling in and forward on their foot, their knees coming in, maybe eliminate problems hitting depth, and is a very simple but very powerful tool to improve squat technique. So pillar number 4 for great squatting technique is all about the knees and the feet. So we're 3 even points of contact, screw the feet into the floor, knees and hips together, knee forward out of the hole. Thanks for watching. Make sure you check out the other installments of this series. Thanks to Marissa for demonstrating, and if you enjoyed the video, please subscribe to the channel.
Get expert program design, video analysis, and guidance for powerlifting and weightlifting, whether you're a beginner, intermediate, or advanced athlete, through Team Juggernaut's online coaching. Click Learn More to sign up.